Charlize, I had assumed for such a long time that you were awful at saving money for the future. However, I've just learned that you have over $500,000 saved up and everything. It's shocking, really, considering your past.
Huh? Wait, did you end up going into my place without ever asking me first? I have a lock on the place and everything that I keep locked up, yet you still made it inside there. How could you betray my trust like this?
I just had to break your doorknob in order to get the door open. But that was pretty easy. After all, what are the locks to a mother's determination?
You broke my freaking doorknob to get into my place. That's a violation of my privacy. My space, my trust.
Your door seemed to only be made out of cheap plywood or something like that. So it wasn't too hard to get your doorknob to break. It crumbled under my touch, just like your financial secrecy.
What the hell? I'm only renting this place, so you need to calm the hell down. This is insane. Even for you.
I was then able to get through your door after breaking the lock and everything, and was able to get a good look at your bank book. The numbers were glaring at me, a fortune hidden away.
And that's when you got a good look at the account that has $500,000 in it, huh? My private stash, now exposed to the daylight?
That's absolutely right. So, would you mind telling me why you have that kind of money saved up in there? Don't tell me that you did something unlawful to get your hands on that kind of money, and that's where you've been keeping it. The thought alone sends shivers down my spine.
That's not how I got that money at all, Mom. Well, since you've seen the amount I have now, it'd be better for me to explain where it's all from and what's it to you. That $500,000 are being saved for me when I plan to retire so that I have something to fall back on in my old age. It's my lifeline, my security.
Retirement money? At your age? It's almost laughable.
I've already told you that before, that I have no plans of getting married to anyone, right? I mean, I might one day have the urge to go out and marry someone if they end up being the person I'd want to spend the rest of my life with. But I'm already in my 30s now, so I don't think that time will ever come. I think I'm better off just staying single and enjoying my life the way I like it. So in order to protect myself, as I keep on aging, I've been saving up a large amount of money in case I ever need it for an emergency, but primarily for when I'm too old to care for myself. I understand that with work and everything, I'll most likely get myself a pension and perhaps a package on top of that as well when I'm retiring, but it's nice to know I have some extra wealth to rely on if that money isn't enough. I've been working on saving that money up for about 10 years now, and with the help of some bonuses from work, I've made it to $500,000. It's my fortress, my safeguard against an uncertain future.
Is that right? Well, now I can finally see that you didn't steal it from anywhere, or something like that. Now I have something to ask you. Would you please give all that money to your older brother and his wife so that they can put it into their new home and get on with their lives? It's a small sacrifice for family, isn't it?
What? Give away my future? My dreams? Just like that?
You understand that your brother has begun the process of building a new house for his wife, right? They need it more than you do, don't they?
I do know about that, yes. He even held a groundbreaking ceremony for the place as well. But, Mom, you can't just ask me to hand over my savings to him for something like that. Both he and his wife do very well for themselves and are great at saving their own money. So I doubt that either of them need my money in order to build that place, right? It's my sweat and tears in those numbers.
If you're going to say no to me, then I'm going to have you kicked out. It's the least you can do after all the years we've supported you.
Huh? Have me kicked out of the house? What are you talking about? This is emotional blackmail.
I'm talking about your family's house. You know that I'm talking about having you kicked out of this place, right? It's time you learned what it means to be part of this family.
Huh? This is my home too.
I can't believe you, Charlize. Going into your 40s here soon, and yet you're still living with your parents and everything in our house. It's time you stood on your own 2 feet.
I'm working a job of my own now, and I pay for my right to be here. I've earned my place, my independence. You can't take that away from me.
Are you not aware that being the age you are and still living with your parents in their house causes them a lot of frustration. It's like a dark cloud hanging over this family, a constant reminder of unfulfilled expectations.
Causes you guys a lot of frustration? You think I'm the one causing you guys all the problems? As if I'm some kind of a burden you can't wait to unload?
I do. I sure do. All you are is a middle-aged woman who only cares about money and never plans on finding herself a husband. You may be our daughter, but you cause your father and I a lot of embarrassment by not moving out. It's as if you're clinging to a life that's long since passed you by.
Embarrassment? Is that what I am to you? A source of shame? My personal choices are mine alone, not a spectacle for you to judge.
You have a very long time before you need to start worrying about retirement and all of that. All you have to do is hand that money over to your brother, and then you can start saving up all over again and get that money back by the time you do have to retire. It's a simple solution, a mere transaction.
A simple transaction? You're asking me to erase years of hard work and planning as if it's nothing. That money represents my future, my dreams.
So, if you want to continue living here with us, then you have to give up that $500,000 and hand it over to us. I'm not going to say all of this again to you, you greedy, husbandless woman. It's the ultimate test of loyalty, a sacrifice for the sake of family.
Sacrifice? You demand my life savings as if it's your due, as if my aspirations mean less than his. How can you be so cruel?
What's going on with you? Have you become so cold, so obsessed with your independence that you've forgotten what it means to be part of this family? Your heart has turned to stone.
Austin, do you have a moment to talk with me? I have something that I'd really like to ask you about. It's been weighing on my mind, casting a shadow over my thoughts.
Hey, Martha, what's going on with you? You seem troubled, like a storm cloud is hanging over your head.
When it comes to you and your wife, you both aren't struggling with money at the moment, correct? I need to know. It's important.
Uh-huh. Why are you asking me a question such as that? It's not like you to pry into our finances.
Before I tell you, can you give me an answer to that question? It's crucial for what I'm about to reveal.
We're doing fine over here, and we don't really need any help with the money right now anyway. If we really needed money and we had to go and get a bunch of loans, we'd never be building a house like the one we're working on now. Our dreams are being built with our own hands, not borrowed hopes.
That's what I thought. I know that I had to ask you something pretty personal, but it makes me feel a little better knowing that you guys aren't the problem. Sorry that it was something like that I was asking about. It's just the situation is tangled with spider webs.
You don't have to be sorry about it, but it's very rare for someone like you to be asking me a question like that. What's been going on that makes you feel the need to ask? It's as if you're digging for a truth buried deep.
Well, it has something to do with Mom again. She spun a web that's ensnared us both.
Again? Is she trying to do something strange with you again? Her actions lately have been as unpredictable as a tempest.
Well, what she's asked of me has something to do with you. And that's both why I've asked you that question, and did so with a little bit of hesitation to tell you why. It's like walking on a tightrope over a chasm.
What does she have to do with me? It's as if her shadow looms over us even when she's not present.
Early today, around lunch, I was going out with a client of mine to have some talks, and while I was out doing that, Mom went and broke the doorknob to my place and went inside after completely ruining the door. It was an invasion, a breach of my sanctuary.
She broke down your door, basically. That's more than crossing a line. It's tearing it apart.
And when she was in my place looking through my drawers, she stumbled across a bank book and got a good look at my savings account that has $500,000 in it. It was unlike she unearthed a secret treasure.
Why is she in your place in the first place? It's like she's hunting for something, but what?
Well, it's because of things like this that I have you holding onto one of my checkbooks, and why I carried the other one on me at all times. So she was never able to actually access any of the money in my account, but she's been asking me about the money while I was out with my client. I couldn't just hide the reason for me having that money from her, since she'd probably get the wrong idea from it. So I told her the truth about the savings account and that it's meant for retirement. But after doing that, well, she asked me to take all of that $500,000 and hand it over to you guys for a new house to be built. I was like, why is she asking me to sacrifice my future?
Huh? That's absurd, like a demand from a world turned upside down.
Can you tell me what's really going on here? It's like there's a piece of the puzzle missing, and I can't see the whole picture.
Wait, I don't want anything to do with the money you've been saving, okay? We don't need it here. Our foundations are built on our own toil, not the gold from others.
That's what I was thinking. I even knew you'd say that to me. It's like I'm caught in the middle of a play where the script keeps changing.
But that's interesting. Interesting that she would say something like that about me. It's like a story where the characters have their own hidden agendas.
The hell is going on with her this time, I wonder? It's like she's conjuring up a storm from a clear sky.
Charlize. This might be happening because of something I said or did around her. Like, I think I might have accidentally opened Pandora's box.
Huh? What do you think happened to cause this? It's as if she'd been struck by some bizarre lightning of madness.
Well, to tell you the truth, the construction of my new house has only just begun. But they've already gotten most of the wood beams up and everything. The skeleton, you know, and... well, Mom came and saw that. It was like she saw a castle where there was only a foundation.
Huh? That house you're having built right now is for you, your wife, and her parents to come and live in it when it's finished, right? What was her reason for going out there? To see the place being built? Or to lay claim on a kingdom not her own?
Yeah, well, at first, I thought she was there just to check the place out a little bit due to her curiosity. But I think she realized that there are 2 houses being built on the land and started to think about it. Like a dragon eyeing a hoard of gold.
There's another pot being built separately? It's as if she's planning to carve out a realm for herself.
Well, that building is really being used for my wife to use as a classroom for when she teaches flower arrangements. But she came up to ask me to let her live there, and then she kind of forced us to let her live there. And she even began to call us over and over and over again about it, and ask us to let her live there in that separate building. It was like a siege, relentless and unyielding.
Wait, but that's not okay. Your wife is pregnant at the moment as well, right? Your wife is in her late 40s as well now, so she can't have that kind of stress worrying about Mom and her antics while carrying a baby. It's like asking a ship to weather a hurricane.
That's right. Hence why I've gone and blocked her number, and that's why she won't be able to talk to us anymore while my wife is carrying our baby. So that's kind of the reason for why she might be coming after you now. Mom's a total jerk for pushing herself onto both of us like this. So to get her to leave us alone for good, I just sent her one text before blocking her saying that if she brings me $500,000, then she can come live with us in the new house. It obviously was a bluff, a desperate gambit to fend off her assault.
Ah, that's why she wants the $500,000 from me then. It's like she's a mercenary, seeking to buy her way into a fortress.
In other words, I thought telling her off was some kind of deal like that would get her to leave everyone alone, you know? But it's only made things a lot more crazy for us all. I'm sorry, Charlize. I didn't think that any of this would spread to you so quickly. Or at all, for that matter. It's like I've inadvertently dragged you into a war.
I see. So that's what happened to get her to act this way. I am not sure if she realized you were serious about that offer or not, but she seems to have started to look around for some money to start paying you. And when she saw that I had the exact amount in my bank account, she told me to give it to you to help with the house, which isn't the case after all. It's as if she's become a treasure hunter, digging where she shouldn't.
I'm so sorry about this, Charlize. Seriously. It's like I've caused a tempest in our lives without intending to.
Well, it's fine. That's a bit more than I was expecting, but it's actually kind of nice knowing that you guys are financially okay and don't really need my money for anything. It's a silver lining in a storm cloud.
You feel alright about all this? It's as if we're in the eye of the storm and I can't help but worry it's not over.
She gave me an ultimatum regarding the money, saying if I didn't give up my money, she'd kick me out of the house. felt like a dagger to my heart. That very place I called home turned against me. However, I've had a place in my name for a while now, but just haven't fully moved into it yet. It's been my secret sanctuary, my escape that I've kept hidden away. And I've just kind of been sitting around thinking about what to do with the place. And since I'm now being threatened with being kicked out of the house, this might be the perfect chance for me to move the rest of myself into that place. It's time to rise from the ashes, to embrace the winds of change.
She said she would kick you out? That's a bit too extreme. It's like she's wielding our family like a sword, ready to strike at the bonds that hold us. Does she really have no idea about anything regarding our lives, does she? It's as if she's lost in a maze of her own making, blind to the reality of our struggles and joys.
That's right. So if she really wants to talk to me like that, then I guess I will go back to living in that other place I have. I'll turn my back on this turmoil, seek refuge in the walls that await me. It's a declaration of independence, a step into a future I craft for myself.
I see. Well, have fun with that then. And if you need anything from me, just give me a heads up and I'll come by. It's like a silent promise, an unspoken bond between us. No matter the distance, no matter the storm, I'll be there, a lighthouse guiding you through the fog.
Charlize, if you don't want me telling my single and greedy daughter about what I'll do to her here soon, then hand me that $500,000. All right, if you don't, then you're going to have a real problem on your hands. You're going to lose the place you live in and then be forced out onto the streets. And I might even have to cut ties with you as well. You understand that, right? It's like a thunderstorm is brewing on the horizon and I'm the lightning ready to strike.
I understand, and I'm totally fine with that.
Huh?
I'm not handing you over that $500,000 you so desperately want from me. So, I'm supposed to leave the house now, right?
Huh? Wait a second there, Charlize. From what I can tell, you don't actually understand what I've told you. Then, right after you are kicked out of this house, I'm going to cut ties with you for good. It's like severing the last thread that binds us.
Yeah, that's totally okay with me, Mom.
Huh?
And actually, I'm already out of that house now.
What are you talking about?
I've gone back to my old place that I've had under my name for a while now. And I made sure to bring all my things with me so you don't have to worry about me anymore, okay? Like a ship setting sail. I've charted my course now.
Excuse me? What place are you talking about?
Why are you getting all surprised about this? Like a magician revealing her tricks? I'm showing you the reality you've missed.
Well, look, 2 years ago, you ran out of money to support yourself on your own. And that's why you came back home to live with us, right? And when your father died last year, the money from him. You were after that, right?
Excuse me? What are you talking about? The whole reason I came home to live with you guys is because Dad was sick, and you guys needed my help. When he passed away, I couldn't just leave you. So I stuck around to continue to care for your needs, right?
Huh?
Have you had no clue about all of this the whole time? I guess I have to make this explanation as simple as possible for you then. To start, that place you've been living in with Dad for the past few years costs about $800 in rent each month. But the person that's actually been paying the rent this whole time has been me.
Hold on a second. What on earth are you saying?
For the longest time, Dad had been the one with his name on the place. But after he passed away, I was given the place to continue renting.
Is that right?
And not just the rent, but the water and gas, as well as the electricity and the food, have all been paid by me. I've been getting around $500 from Austin each month, but the rest is paid by me. And as for the money that you've been spending on the past year now, that's all been from Dad after he passed away. But I'm assuming based on how much you spend all the time, that amount from him is running dry and will all be gone soon.
Are you sure?
I am also the main reason I haven't left the house. And you, this whole time after Dad became sick and then passed away, is just because you can't do jack by yourself. You can't cook, you can't clean, you barely even change your clothes without me telling you to sometimes.
Charlize?
You made Dad do all the housework back when he was alive, right? Like a queen commanding her subjects. You ruled without lifting a finger.
Well, Dad was a whole lot better at doing all those things than me.
And back when Austin and I were both growing up, the three of us would be able to do the chores while you just sat around. But you never once lifted a finger to come and help us out. And that painted a very bad picture of you in our heads. And to be frank, you aren't in any shape to boss someone around who needs to care for you. And you are able to get anything done that needs to be done on your own. So you should be forced to do that right now. But of course, you still need the rent and stuff paid for on that house, so I couldn't just leave you to handle all that on your own. Austin has taken over the company of his father-in-law and doesn't have time to come over to you guys anymore. As for me, I work remotely. I make my own schedule up, so I'm the only one in the family with a situation that works out well enough to allow me to be here at your house. That's the whole reason I had to leave my place and come back to you both when you guys needed the house.
I never knew about any of this before.
We've told you plenty of times before. Even Dad told you before he passed away. But I do remember that every time we'd talk to you about it, you'd go on whining about how you want to go live with Austin and leave Dad behind with me in the house. And even after he passed away, you still whined about being with Austin and his wife. So you never listened to what we had to tell you.
But that's because it's normal for the mother to go and live with her oldest son.
And that's why everyone told you over and over again that Austin and his wife have been having to care for her parents because, unlike your lazy butt, the both of them can't even walk well enough anymore and need the help. Another reason why they don't want you around anymore is because you kept trying to force them to let you live there. Why don't you just listen to what they have to say and be quiet about it? I understand that. You were to look at the place and thought that you'd be able to just squeeze on into it. But the extra building you saw being built is meant for his wife's flower arranging classes, which they are now going to be using to house her parents in. But you didn't even listen to that story either, and have now created a lot of unnecessary stress for them all.
But Austin told me that if I had $500,000 to give him, he'd think about letting me live there. That's why I need your $500,000.
Austin only said this as a way of getting you to stop talking to them, and it almost worked out for everyone.
Huh?
He never thought you'd come looking for money from me, and then expected to get said money once you find it.
But he's going to need that money for the house, right?
He told me he doesn't even need my $500,000 and to keep it.
What? But that's like a plot twist and a tale of greed and deception.
It looks like we've both gone on a bit too long with this, but that's what's happening, Mom.
Charlize!
I've told the real estate agency that starting next month, the contract on this place is being cancelled.
Are you serious? You're canceling it?
You have until next April to move out of here.
But that's not even half a year away anymore. You have a place already and prepared for me to live in next, right?
And it seems that Austin has been onto that as well.
What?
But be aware that this doesn't mean you're going to go live with him next.
Then what is he planning to do with me?
Well,
Charlize, what the hell? You are my gosh dang daughter. So you take care of me until the day I die. Like a queen demanding tribute from her subjects.
shut the hell up, Mom.
Huh?
Have you not even realized yet that I'm super pissed at you?
Charlize,
You started all of this off by saying that you'd have me kicked out of my own place and then cut ties with me. But only an hour or so later, you're asking me to take care of you until the end. I'm tired of listening to you change your mind all the time, only to fit your selfish needs.
Wait a second. You can't talk to me like that.
Who the hell was the one that asked to be this upset?
Huh?
Having to keep talking to you like this is hurting my heart. I can't do this with you any longer. I'll do as you've asked and cut ties with you.
Wait, Charlize, you can't do that.
Goodbye forever.
Charlize, please.
After I finished everything with her, I handed everything off to my brother to finish up. Since my mom didn't really have any more money for herself, Austin ended up spending a little bit on her to make sure that she was sent to an old folks' home to spend the rest of her days. But on the day she was supposed to go into her new living quarters, she began to bawl her eyes out and ran to Austin's house looking for him to take her. But that never happened. She then proceeded to head back to the old folks' home and moved into her room. Every so often we get calls from the place regarding her saying that she doesn't require a lot of the attention, but she's also not really bonding with any of the other people living there. Now, as for me, after telling my mom that I was through with her out of anger and then explaining I was cutting ties with her. I never got a text or call from her again. I'm thinking that the next time I'll be meeting with her will be at her funeral. But of course, I don't mind that becoming a reality, and have started to only focus on myself and the fun life I want to live.